The enemies of the night comes after your favor. Anytime someone favors you, or whenever you are about to get favor or receive favor from somebody, these kind of enemies, they come. Enemies of the night. Let's see what King David said about enemies of the night in the book of Psalms, chapter number 59, reading from verse 14. My enemies come out at night, snaring like vicious dogs as they prowl the streets. Once these kind of enemies, once they see results, they come. This is why you can work hard. And so as long as the thing you are working hard on, so as long as that thing is not going to yield result for you, then they will leave you alone. But, the moment you start producing harvest, from your seed, then you have a problem. This is why some of you say to yourself, but I thought that was a done deal. I thought that interview I went for was going to be successful because I was told that I was the best candidate during that interview. This is because sometimes evil eyes goes, before you. And you remember last year I spoke about 5 elements of creation, and sometimes I mentioned the fact that the element of creation that works for you, be it fire, be it sand, be it wind, they can send those elements ahead of you, to do something bad against you. Okay, so some people would go for an interview or they will go somewhere and they can use wind against them, to wipe away every good thing, that's supposed to come out from that event. Okay, so this is why you say to yourself, what is happening to me? Because I knew it means that this breakthrough of mine supposed to have been confirmed, which actually means that you are dealing with the enemies of the night. So whenever a breakthrough or whenever something that has to, supposed to be celebrated in your life, when you're supposed to succeed in something and that thing falls through sometimes, then you might be dealing with the enemies of the night. And sometimes God would show you in your dreams. Okay. Last year as well, I spoke about dreams of vision of the night. God will show you that the things you are fighting are not normal. But, you wake up as a believer, you are using logic. This is very funny. You see people, you see them, they say, you know what? Maybe my emotion is playing me. Maybe when I slept yesterday, I was sad. And maybe that was why I found myself in that kind of environment in my dream. That might not be the case. God might be trying to pass a specific message to you. Okay. In your dream, God is showing you that maybe a snake, beat you in your dreams, or maybe a lion is chasing you in your dream, or maybe something is chasing you. And you say, you know what? That's just a facade. It's not real. Okay. And you might be asleep and suddenly you have a dream. You had a dream about a car crash and you said to yourself, oh no, I don't really have a car. So you just waved it out. Okay. Now you are using logic and you completely ignore that dream. This is what the enemy wants you to do exactly. And in this kind of situation, God cannot be blamed. God spoke in the book of Numbers, chapter number 12, verse 6. It says, if there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in a vision. I speak with him in a dream. Okay. The book of Job, chapter number 33, verse 14 says, for God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceive it not. Okay. The truth is that truly God speaks. Our God is a faithful God. Don't be naive. God speaks, in numbers, in symbols, through situations, through circumstances. He speaks. You just need to make sure that you pay attention to what God, is trying to tell you. Dreams are often encoded. You saw the story of Joseph versus, King Pharaoh, and you would see that those dreams are encoded in symbols, in numbers, and you need to pay attention to your dream. Okay? And by doing this, by using logic, you forget that the supernatural controls the physical. Okay? Another form of enemies are called the royal enemies. The royal enemies. You can ask me, who are the royal enemies? One thing that is very interesting about this kind of enemies is that you don't expect them to fight you in the first place. You know why? Because they are already in the high position. They already have what you don't have. You know, they have a throne, they have wealth, they are comfortable. Okay? You don't expect them to even come after you in the first place. You know, maybe initially they even gave you access to them, but most likely you are under their covering. For instance, a boss who employed you for work, maybe the superior chain at your job, or maybe you are under your shepherd, or you are under or your pastor, someone who you are just under. Okay, so these people again, they have positions you do not have. They have an upper hand above you, and still, they fight you, and you begin to wonder, why exactly are they fighting me? You say to your wife, you say to your husband, you say to your friend, you can't really wrap your arms around it. You can, why exactly is this person after me? Okay, the meaning is that the truth is that royal enemies do not care about your position. They care about where you are going. The reason why King Saul fought David, despite David having no enemies, no backup, is because he knew that David is yet to be a king. But this boy would eventually be king. So initially, he saw David as a threat. He saw in front of David what David hasn't even seen in front of himself. So royal enemies sees your future better than you do. They are fighting you, not because you have a problem with them, but they are fighting you because of your future. So royal enemies are often intimidated by what you carry. You know, they don't fight your position, they fight your future. They fight what is going to come to pass in your life. Royal enemies are very dangerous. If you are naive and you know you don't pay enough attention, they will destroy you. Okay, again, you keep wondering, why is this person fighting me? What have I done? It is not about what you've done. You know, it is not about you. It is about, again, where you are going. Where you are going. You wonder why King Herod, you know, said, King Herod gave a decree, in the Old Testament to wipe out all the kids, all the children, male children within a specific age range. Okay. He said they should be slaughtered in the book of Matthew, chapter number 2, verse 16 through 18 as well. He doesn't care about the babies. All he cares about is what they are going to become. Okay. Now you realize why your parents might have made some decisions. You realize why the stories your dad or your mom told you about you growing up, how they had to relocate or how they have to protect you from specific people. Because some people carry evil spirits. They can read your future. You know, they can swap your destiny. They can destroy you, you know, if you are not adequately protected. Okay. So for some of you, this is exactly what you are dealing with at this specific point in time. You see someone who, as if, who is in a place of authority, and they just don't like you. There is something that you can't just wrap your arms around. You know, they are not your friend. You irritate them. Your presence irritates them. Okay. It is because of what you carry, and it is because of where you are going to. Okay. So in fighting you now, they are fighting your then that is to come. Okay. So you need to pay attention every time you are in a warfare. What kind of enemy exactly are you fighting? Again, you cannot fight an enemy you don't understand, because you're going to shoot your gun in the wrong direction. And also, when we're talking about spiritual warfare,